our community partner at the health department. We have some great information for y'all, so we'll take it away with Miss Annabelle, our prevention facilitator, asking questions to our esteemed guest, Sergio from M-Factor. All right, take it away, Annabelle.
All right, so first off, would you be able to just basically introduce yourself, what your title is, and where you work and all that stuff?
Yes, ma'am. Well, I'm Sergio Flores. My title is HIV Education Outreach Specialist. I do work with the health department as part of HIV Prevention. So essentially, what we are trying to do is screen everybody for HIV. We do have a status neutral approach. So whether you're positive or negative, we have means and ways to help you to keep you, HIV negative or help you be undetectable, which is something that we want everybody who is HIV positive to be. That way we do further contain the virus. But yes, that is my role at the health department. I do provide the testing, as well as I'm an M-Factor coordinator, which is a social group for queer men, gay men, bisexual, trans men, a social place where they can meet each other and ultimately meet the goals of HIV prevention.
Awesome. And where is your location at?
Yes, we're centrally located at 701 Montana. But unfortunately, the building is currently going renovations. But as of now, we're downtown at 220 South Stanton. Same hours, Monday through Friday, 8 to 5. We just close an hour for lunch, so feel free to visit us anytime. We are a walk-in clinic. No need to make an appointment. Also, feel free to visit us.
So it's just one clinic in El Paso,
HIV prevention specifically, there's us. There's also community members partners that also do testing.
Okay.
But as for the city side of testing and surveillance, yes, that would be us, HIV Prevention, 220 South Stanton.
And then for the ages, how many, what is the age range that you guys?
Me in particular, the younger the better, because we always want to make sure everybody's well versed on how HIV is transmitted. So as soon as if we're able to screen early, educate early, that would be the best. But we test all ages. All of our services are for free. Again, they're rapid tests. If anybody needs confirmatory blood work, that is also for free.
Awesome. And what would you think, what the importance is on having these resources out? What is, what are the reasons why people should know about these resources and want to be able to reach those how am I trying to say this? Basically utilize those resources.
Yes. Well, not only are they all free, HIV, there's still an HIV epidemic in Texas. It's not a disease of the 80s, of the 90s. It is still ongoing. So our goal is to make HIV rare in Texas. So knowing that these free services are available, that anybody can take advantage of them. They're at no cost. It takes 15 minutes to get results. All you need is a small sample of blood, just like checking your sugar. So as long as people know this, where to go, what to do in case they've been exposed, we can meet the goal of making HIV rare in Texas.
Sergio, what is HIV?
The human immunodeficiency virus. It is a virus that is sexually transmitted primarily, also by any type of blood exposure, such as sharing needles. That's part of the education that we try to do during every testing session. What's the virus, what it does, what kind of cells it attacks, why PrEP is effective at preventing the acquisition of HIV. So yes, knowing what HIV is very important, and what it does to the body and how to prevent it.
Does HIV only affect a certain demographic?
Just like COVID, HIV has no restrictions on who it'll impact. There are certain risk factors, but anybody can get HIV. 80% is men, 20% is women.
Okay.
So it doesn't necessarily discriminate.
What about, I noticed that you said earlier about age ranges. Any age group can go and get free testing.
Yes.
What is the confidentiality with that when it comes to minors? We have a lot of youth following. What if there's a youth who may be exposed and they're, of course, feeling all the feelings of a roller coaster, right?
Right.
With
that's actually
testing.
the question I got today over the phone.
Oh, okay, great.
They were 14 and they were wanting to get, well, not specifically HIV, they just wanted general STDs. But for us, we test as young as 14.
Okay.
So yeah, they do not need parental consent.
Okay.
All our tests are free, confidential, and they could also even be anonymous.
Okay.
but specifically for HIV.
What if we have a youth who maybe doesn't have a way of transportation there? Is there a number that they can call to get information?
Actually, right now, because we are not in our central location in Montana, we do offer at-home testing.
Okay.
So if anybody's interested in at-home testing, do call 915-212-6665. Go ahead and talk to someone, and we can actually go test you at home.
Okay, great. We have a question from one of our followers. What are the signs of HIV-like symptoms?
So symptoms typically manifest 2 weeks after a possible infection, but what I would watch out for is night sweats, flu-like symptoms, maybe some lymph nodes in the neck or in the armpit. That would be something I would look out for.
Okay.
But before even thinking about the symptoms, I would say you have options. If you think you might have been exposed, there's something called PEP, or post-exposure prophylaxis. With that, if you think you've been exposed, or maybe you pricked yourself with a needle that had someone else's blood, and obviously you don't know what's in the blood, you have 72 hours to go to a provider, and they give you a pill for 28 days, and that's to prevent the acquisition of HIV. So that's really the best option. If you think you might be exposed, consider PEP. But in order for you not to rely on emergency services, I would recommend PrEP, which is like a daily pill, so you're protected either way. And
that's if we're uncertain about exposure, right?
Correct, yes.
What about, another question, what are the treatments for HIV?
It would be ARTs, antiretroviral therapy.
Okay.
So now there are meds that will decrease the amount of virus so low that you can no longer transmit the virus. And that is a great achievement. That's why we also like to mention U equals U. Undetectable equals untransmittable. So even if you are HIV positive, you have sex, there's no way you can transmit the virus if you are undetectable. So you become just like any other individual. You just have to keep on going every 3 months to check your viral load, make sure you're still undetectable, and continue taking your treatment pill every day.
Okay, great. What if somebody does go and get tested? What is, I'm not sure if you stated this already, but the turnaround rate of getting results, and then what are the next steps?
So on a rapid test, you get results immediately.
Okay.
The only limitation with a rapid is that it has a 3-month window period. So the result we get the day that you get tested, it shows any exposure from 3 months to before. If you might have an exposure a month, I would offer a courtesy blood draw that has a decreased window period, maybe a month. So depending on the situation, we would see. But as for a rapid test, they're immediate. They're after 15 minutes. Again, it's just a small sample of blood and you get a result. You leave with the results the same day of your tests.
Okay.
And if you need any confirmatory blood work, that really just depends on the day that you come. If you come early in the morning, it might take 3 days. Syphilis, for example, that we test for, it could be even the same day.
Okay, so do you offer, I'm sorry, we have another question. Can you ever be HIV free even after contracting it?
As for now, there's no cure for HIV.
Okay.
Anybody who tests positive will always test positive. However, the treatment options, again, it's a pill that you take every day to keep you undetectable. That means you're just like anybody else. The virus is at bay. But as for treatment, for complete cure, there's no complete cure. That's why we just advocate for HIV prevention, so that it's better to be HIV negative, but if you are positive, there's treatments to keep you, healthy just like anybody else and live a normal life.
Okay, and you stated that there is options for syphilis testing and things of that nature regarding other STDs, other STIs. Are there any other treatments that...
HIV prevention, we only do HIV, syphilis, and Hep C, depending on the person who's testing. But the other side of the health department, the community care clinic, there they do offer the additional testing, chlamydia and gonorrhea. The only thing that they don't deal with is HPV or herpes. For that, we do have community partners. So if anybody comes in to test, whether they have insurance or no insurance, we'll give you places or referrals so that you can go get additional screening.
Okay, what type of questions will a patient be asked upon entering? I know that sometimes the questions that get asked are confidential and can cause concern for individuals who want to go and get tested, and that can be a deterring factor. So what type of, what type of questions or information do they have to provide?
Right, so as soon as I start the test, we do have to wait 15 minutes for the results. So in that time, I would like to establish, this is a safe space. Anything you and I talk about stays between you and I. I'm going to ask you some personal questions, so that's why I know what services to offer you or what referrals to give you. So I do ask, like, when was the last time they had sex, to see whether they're a good candidate for PEP. The risk factors, whether they use any drugs during sex, do they inject any drugs, any blood exposures or the like. So just questions to help me know what services they might need, whether it's help with substance use, mental health, the like, because I know they're only there for HIV and syphilis, but I want to help them as much as I can.
Yes, definitely. Okay, so connecting them to other entities that can help them within the community.
Yes.
Okay, and that's why we have this live going on, right? To build that collaboration and inform the community about different agencies that exist within the El Paso County and Sun City. I do have another question. For a long-term HIV carrier, what are long-term side effects and symptoms?
For that, I would forward you to your provider.
Okay.
As for me, I do link you to service, but that is a conversation for you to have with your doctor, because even though there are popular treatment options, they're not the only ones.
Mm-hmm.
So based on what other medications you're taking, what other ailments you might have, it really depends on what. Not everybody receives the same treatment.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of HIV treatments. There's even injectables now, or they're coming up soon.
Okay.
But yes, that's a conversation to have with your doctor as for side effects, because there's not just one HIV treatment. There's a lot of options.
Okay. As far as last Monday, right? Last Monday was a very big day nationally, right? What was it?
It's National Youth HIV AIDS Awareness Day, because that is, there's awareness days throughout the year, but however, this Monday, it was that specific day, and we like to bring awareness to that, because 1 in 5 new HIV diagnoses is, in the United States, of course, occurs within people aged 13 to 24. So awareness, knowing that you should get tested or screened at least once in your life, is important, because again, 1 in every 5 new diagnoses is among the very young.
Okay. Awesome. Any other information? Oh, I'm sorry. I have another question. Can women, I'm not sure if they meant attract or contract AIDS.
Yes, again, 20% of the U.S. Living with HIV are women. So
Okay.
women are definitely able to contract HIV.
Okay.
And if it goes untreated, that's when it turns into AIDS. So AIDS should really be rare in this country, so long as you're on treatment and you stay undetectable.
Okay, great. Any other questions from our followers? I know that we have a couple of y'all tuned in right now watching. Is there any other question? Please feel free to comment. Let us know any information you would like to receive from us, or how we can help you better navigate getting in contact with our partners at El Paso Public Health with M-Factor. Please let us know.
Yes, and one more thing about M-Factor, that testing and prevention is important, but there's also a fun side to it. M-Factor is built to be a fun place, a social place for the men, gay men, bisexual men, trans men, but for really anybody in the community to come together. We do have events every month. We have a monthly workshop, and we talk about safe sex, a particular topic. It's different every month. Feel free to join our queer book club. We read a book every month on a queer topic. The very first one was a local book by a local author, Aristotle and Dante, Discover the Secrets of the Universe, which is going to be a movie, actually. And the trailer comes out tomorrow, I believe. So if any El Pasoan who's very interested in reading about a book about 2 queer men in El Paso, I would welcome you to read that book before the movie comes out, because that was a very good book.
Definitely. And do you have any social media handles that way we can build that following for you as well?
And you can tag us on this live.
Yes, definitely.
At mfactor915, we do post the events monthly, so that you can join us at any of them. Again, whether it's a cookout, whether it's an event at Topgolf, all of our events are free to attend. The only thing is that if it is space limited, I do ask that you send us a DM, just to make sure you confirm your spot. And I have a way to reach you whether you're coming or not.
Sounds great. Any other information from our followers who are tuned in? Would anybody like to ask? I'm sorry, I do have a question. So an HIV positive person can have sex without risking spreading? Yes.
So just because you're HIV positive doesn't mean that you can't have, pleasurable sex in the future. You definitely can. It doesn't mean that, you have to be living like a monk. no, as long as you're on treatment, you stay undetectable, you can be as healthy as anyone, including a healthy sex life.
Okay, great. Any other questions from our followers who are on live with us? Any other information you would like to ask at this moment?
And again, feel free to stop by for condoms and lube. I know I talk about PrEP and PEP for HIV, but I mean for the rest, we do recommend barrier protection in the form of condoms. Once we're back at 701 Montana, feel free to stop by. We have a lot of condoms to give out, lubes, and we sometimes even have toys. So hopefully we'll be back in May and have all those services available to anyone. And if anybody wants to be part of the condom distribution services, we can also go to your organization and drop off a large quantity of condoms so that you can have them out displayed for the community.
Sounds great. May I get your social media following one more time? Your username?
mfactor915.
Do give them a follow. These are a great partnership that we have and great information, really important resources that they provide the community. Again, thank you so much, Sergio, for being with us. We will go ahead and tag you in this, and thank you just for being a partner of the Empowerment Project. We really appreciate it. Everybody go ahead and go follow at mfactor915, and please DM them any question, concern that you have. Visit them. They're really awesome. It's a great resource to know about. But thank you.
Thank you so much.